if there's something that I think I can do about a problem, I feel compelled, and both basically out of curiosity a lot of times, well, maybe I can fix it, right? This impulse to be like, maybe I can do it.
Every brand begins with a name, but the best ones begin with a reason. Ashley Connelly built Lionbear Ventures to help small businesses and communities move from possibility to progress. Here, she shares the story behind the name, the purpose behind the work, and the vision that pushes it forward.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining me here on AwareNow to share this space and to share your story. Thank you so much. For someone meeting Lionbear Ventures for the very first time, what do you hope they feel when they hear your name?
I think when people hear Lionbear Ventures, they're usually like, what's that? And I'm like, it could be anything, right? That's fun. No, I think that it's interesting. You want to ask more questions. Tell me more about what you do. It's fun. So I think could be an adventure.
Yeah, it definitely is like that doorway to intrigue, I think. I know that's the first question I asked. Tell me more about that. Because it's like two animals, but one entity. What is happening here? Right?
One world, two animals. Yes.
Right? It's how it... So let's just go a little bit deeper, because I'm always fascinated by the names that people choose for the things that they build, because there's usually always a story inside of them. So let's get right to it. What is the meaning behind Lionbear, and what parts of you, your work, or your purpose live in that name? Tell us the origin story of Lionbear.
So I think, so I came out of industry, right? I worked in corporate America. I worked in some smaller nonprofits and institutes. And I was a person who found myself in a new job every 2 years because I get bored, or I get I want to chase a new thing. I'm curious. I've done this. This is not challenging, or there's a shiny thing over there. And I said to myself, it's probably not a great way to live as a professional to be changing jobs every 2 years. So I said, well, you may need to own your own business someday, because that might be the only way that this will become a permanent thing for you, to really invest yourself into something that you can build and hold on to. So I said, well, what would I name it? And I knew that it had to be some kind of personal brand or something that also had breadth, right? Because if I'm changing jobs every 2 years, I can't say, I'm grant writing company ABC, right? What if I wanted a space to be versatile, to pivot to, because that's just who I am in nature, or by nature. So I said, well, it's got to be something personal. And so I chose Lionbear. I liked the way it felt bold. I've always kind of toyed around with animal names for some reason. I also thought about if I owned a bar, what would I name it? It was always the Stubborn Bear or something, something funny and kitschy. So I just think animals are fun, and we all have our own spirit animals. So I ended up with Lionbear. I have 2 children. So my son's name is Theodore. And so from a young age, my husband kind of always called him Little Bear. And then I had a daughter following that, and I was living in Italy at the time, and her name is Leona. And I learned that Leona in Italian is the word for lioness. So I said, well, how do I play on bear and lion? And and I just we'll smush together. We're going to be Lionbear. So
I love that.
Yeah. So that's where it came from. And then, as you're looking at bears and lions, the characteristics, I felt it was quite representative of myself, kind of the ferocity that comes with a lion. And then the bear is it's courageous, it's consistent, it can be feisty when it needs to. But I just felt like it was a bold kind of embodiment of what I want to be, what we want to be for our clients, and what we're asking our clients to be is kind of out there, be bold. And I had a friend once tell me when I told them, I was kind of nervous about the name. I was like, I don't go out into the consulting world and see names like that on papers very often, right? It's Great Lakes X or, Michigan Blue or, And I said, well, what do you think about Lionbear Ventures? And he says, well, people won't forget you. And I was like, oh, that's probably a good, that's a good strategy to have, a memorable name.
That is important. Very, very important, actually. So success there, the box is checked. So before Lionbear became a company, there had to be a moment or maybe a season when you realized something needed to be built. So question now is, what was happening, Ashley, in your life or in the communities around you that made you say, this is the work I'm meant to do? And I know you said a moment ago you wanted to create something where you had flexibility to pivot and to change, but what was it that went on in your life that said, this is what it is and this is why?
So, it was an interesting time. It was COVID. I was working for a nonprofit, which was an amazing experience. It was a startup nonprofit, quite relevant to, the things they're working on during COVID. But I was also had a child taking kindergarten virtually from home from a laptop, which was very stressful, as startups are stressful. And I was feeling that impulse once again to be like, I want a new job. And I'm like, oh God, don't, maybe this is the time, sister, just go out on your own. And at the time I had gone through an accelerator for recycling. It was called Next Cycle Accelerator. And I think that kind of gave me, I'm like, well, maybe I really love working on recycling. Again, shiny object over here. And then politically, the Biden administration was putting out all of this infrastructure money, all of these federal programs. And I was just seeing idea after idea of what the possibility of what this money could do for communities. Meanwhile, my dad is the water commissioner for the village of New Lothrop. And I'm talking to him about grants, and I'm talking to him about politics and what's going on. And I just kept asking him questions. I'm like, how does it work in village government? You realize that there's infrastructure money coming to help you with these exact problems you're describing. My water systems we need $50,000 to upgrade our water systems. And I didn't even know that a village managed the water system. And I was just like, holy cow, my dad is responsible for the safe drinking water of an entire village. Wow. And he needs money and he has no idea how to go or where to go to get it. And so that coupled with this deep commitment to equitable access for individuals, being a female that came up in my career through the defense industry and doing a lot of work with engineers, I just perpetually always experienced this kind of lack of accessibility or seat at the table. And so I was always very much for me, seeing, some individuals or some organizations get access to so much money and just not feeling like they were good stewards of that money. Then I go out and see communities like New Lothrop and I think, oh my God, why is this, just that inequity that's happening? And I think this is systemically what could be wrong in many ways with our country. And I said, you know what? I need a new job. I'm compelled to go and try to, if there's something that I think I can do about a problem, I feel compelled, and both basically out of curiosity a lot of times, well, maybe I can fix it, right? This impulse to be maybe I can do it. And so I took the leap and I started Lionbear Ventures on my own. And I got a contract to be on a recycling accelerator and help that, which is fun. I love it. It's rewarding. And then I got a contract to start trying to write grants for small communities like New Lothrop. And then we won a grant for $150,000 to pay Lionbear to do that. And we were off to the races. And I kind of validated, I knew that there was a problem. And for the last 4 years, we've been trying to solve that inequity access to people who want nice things in their communities too. They just don't know where to go. Nobody's talking to them. Nobody's telling them what to do.
Well, and this start that you're off to that you've been doing has been very successful with millions and millions of dollars raised for smaller communities. So So much of your work seems to be about helping people and communities access resources that they may not have, they may not have known how to reach on their own, like the example you gave with your father. What do you wish more people understood about the dreams, the ideas, the potential sitting inside these smaller communities?
I think there are a lot of people who want to do something to improve their community. And I'm getting all emotional, sorry. So I think there's a lot of people that want to do good things, right? They want to show up. I think you don't need to be a grant writer, or you don't need to know the resources. You first need to have the commitment to follow through. You have the commitment to want to learn, to absorb the resources that are available for you. And things can be very hard. You have to be prepared to fail. And I think if you're willing to be that individual, then the rest of it can be taught or be shared with you. But at the end of the day, I can't help clients be successful if they're not willing to commit for the long haul, right? Yeah. And know that we have the perfect plan A, but we never see through a perfect plan. It never goes perfectly. So we may go to plan B or C, and then are you prepared to go to plan D through Z, right? Like, how much are you willing to see this through? Because I can't want that for you. I am not in your community. I'm not leading your community. I am not having the conversations that you need to be having in your own community about what's right for you. I trust that you are the one that knows what's best, when to say enough is enough, when to pivot to plan M out of this whole deck of options. So I just think wanting to be a leader and having the humility to know that I might fail, but I'm going to try anyways. Because if I never try, I'll never know.
Yeah. I love that. And that is such a deep-rooted fear that so many have. But when you can get through that, when you get beyond that, then all the potential that's there. So one more question for you today, Ashley, would be, when you look at Lionbear today and the work that's still ahead, what do you hope this brand becomes known for? Not just in terms of funding or strategy, but in terms of how people felt after working with you.
I don't know about how they feel, but I always say that we want to be a group that does cool things. Like, I want to do good things with good people. Like, it's all about like the team environment. I want to work with good people every day and see good things happen. I want you to have nice things where you live too, And so walking away with a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that they gave it their all, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there are so many things, especially right now, that are completely out of everybody's control, with the way budgets are being allocated and priorities, both state and federally. I mean, nothing is within our control, but just, being apathetic and just saying, well, I can't do anything about it. Everybody can always do something. Go plant flowers in your downtown district. I mean, volunteer. So, yeah. So I think working with Lionbear is walking away feeling like, you are proud of the work you put in and you tried, and maybe you learned something and you're smarter and better and more equipped for what might come next.
I love that. And I love how you just condensed it so well there to say, do good things with good people. And if we all do that, find the good people, do the good things, this world could start looking a whole lot better. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much for taking this time, for sharing more of your story, and for helping all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Allie.